Well, during the last 20 years of involvement in the lives of people and their situations, Elaine has earned several degrees and certifications, including adult teaching, a Bachelor of Theology degree, a master's degree in counseling, and a doctorate in philosophy and counseling. Dr. Olson is a full-time mental health professional with a private practice in a now very famous place, Ilderton, Ontario. Ding!
Yes.
Scott Moir, Tessa Virtue, world champs, Olympian figure skaters.
Yeah, awesome.
And now we're telling you the home of a woman with a very interesting journey and a very significant ministry.
Yes,
in an office and online.
Yes, my private counseling practice is in Ilderton, Ontario, just outside of London, about 6-minute drive outside of London. And I've been doing online courses and studies for women, studies for marriages, family. Approximately half of my practice is marriage related, and the other half is individual. So I have women and some men and all different ages, and it's been a real privilege to be used in this way, and I feel like it's something that God probably has been preparing me for a long time, and it's I enjoy it very much.
Yeah, which includes learning the hard way.
Yes,
which
often.
we'll get to. But you know, we've been celebrating family here today.
Yes.
You also, like Guy Penrod, married
Right.
25 years. 3 daughters.
3 daughters.
Very
3
aspiring daughters. Tell us what they're doing.
Oh, they're such a joy, and we just have so much fun with our girls. Our eldest daughter is 20, and her name's Brittany. She's at Hillsong Bible College studying in Australia, so she's studying music and has a real interest in music for sure. She plays numerous instruments and just having a really good time with her. I don't know if we'll get her back. Yeah. She's just enjoying it so much.
That's a dream of a lot of young people.
Yeah, and she actually counted down the days to get there. She started in grade 8, and she was like 600 and so many days. I guess that'd be about grade 10 when she started counting down. But it is a dream come true for her to be there, and she's just enjoying it so much.
She's the eldest.
She's the eldest. She's 20. Our second daughter is almost 19. She'll be 19 next week. And she's actually a Canadian champion in the 400-meter hurdles. Wow. So she's a 5-time Canadian champion, so she's just done tremendously on the track, and we were very surprised actually at her ability because in grade 8 she was in a private school. And then in grade 8, she just cleaned up on all the races. She won the 100, the 200, the 400, the 800, the 1500, the 3-kilometer race. And it was getting to be that some of the other girls were saying, "Oh, are you in this race too?" Because they didn't want to compete against her. Yeah. But we didn't know if she really had, what her talent was until she got into high school. And her coach just really put the hurdles together with the speed, and she's just done so well.
Found her niche.
She found her thing. Yeah.
And the baby of the family is?
And the baby is Madison, and she is 16. And her real interest, actually, she was sleeping over at her friend's last night, but we wanted her to come here because her real interest is in film production, television production, and she's definitely written some plays. She's directed fashion shows. She's directing a show at our church this Christmas. So they're just into so many different things. They're such a delight and such a full part of our life that I don't know, what life would be like without those kids, and everything that's involved with them. And certainly it was at risk at some point, I guess we could say.
And that's one of the reasons I wanted you to just flesh out the blessings that you're enjoying right now, because you came awfully close to losing it all.
Yeah. There was a time in our marriage where it was very challenging. We went through a very, very difficult time, and I was so angry. I was such an angry person. I would throw things. I broke windows and mirrors, and pretty much anything that was in my hand became a weapon. So I would just, Do
you have any idea why you had all that anger?
I think I was unfulfilled. I felt very limited. I felt just lacking, didn't have purpose, direction. We were busy in the church. We were very involved, actually pastoring at the time, which was very challenging. But I don't know exactly, just so many pressures on us and stresses, and didn't really feel to support it at that time. So I was very, very angry. And there was one particular day that my husband and I had a big fight, and it turned very ugly, and he ended up walking out, and it was a good thing. He just needed to cool down, and I needed to cool down. And so I went into my office at home, and I just was crying out before the Lord, and I said, God, you know, you just need to change him. Because he's ruining our marriage, and he's just so frustrating and so challenging. So if you tell me what to tell him, I'll be sure to tell him, you know, what he needs to fix, because obviously he was the big problem in our marriage. And so I was crying and sobbing, and it was, you know, just a real bad scene. And I took my Bible, and I was just desperate for God to speak to me. So I took my Bible and I did one of the, you know, flop it open and choose a scripture verse, and it flopped open to Proverbs 25:28, which essentially says, if you cannot control your own spirit, you are like a city broken down without walls. And so, yeah, I didn't get it at first.
Did you think that was a message for your husband?
No, I thought I missed God. So I just closed my Bible and tried again, right? So I was like, oh God, please speak to me so I can tell him how to change. And I flopped it open again, did the same thing. Proverbs 25:28. If you can,
same verse.
The same verse, if you can imagine. You know, you think I would have been smart enough to put my finger on the other side of the page or something, but I, you know, hit the same verse again. And so I realized, wow, maybe there is something here to this verse, and it's meant for me to listen to right now. So I started unpacking it a little bit, and it was, if you cannot control your own spirit. So first of all, it was like, wow, I can control my spirit. I can control myself. I have the ability to control my own anger, which